Stockport County Live. We are rock and rolling. Matty Mainwaring. The two of us this week, mate. Dicko's got prior engagements, so fair play to him. So it's me and thee. FA Cup stuff to talk about. We'll try and tone down the boxing a little bit, but it's getting more and more of a regular occurrence. And the only thing I can say this week about the boxing is, did you see the ridiculous microwave price for Chris Eubank Jr.'s signed microwave in Newcastle last week?
I saw two, mate. I saw 31 grand and then 65 grand.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at the minute.
It's unbelievable. For context, just to, if anyone is watching / listening and thinking, what the hell are you talking about? We were with Chris Eubank Jr. in Newcastle last week. Chris and myself were walking from one hotel to another, and a few people stopped him. I would say stopped us for autographs, but there was no one stopping asking me for autographs. They were all after Chris Eubank, as you would imagine. So Chris Eubank Jr. stops, signs these. I don't know. Someone asked him to sign his hand. Someone else asked him to sign, I don't know, something else. Loads of people asking for photographs, as you would imagine. And just out of nowhere, this kid rocks up with a microwave. And he goes, all right.
I was going to ask, where did he come from? I thought it was one that they found on the street that had been thrown out or something. But
do you know what? I have no idea. The kid rocks up and he just has one just there, and he says, "Chris, will you sign it?" And what made it better was there was a load of girls there who were going, "Oh my God, have you?" Because it's Newcastle, so they speak.
Yeah, go on, carry on. I'm just waiting.
Oh my God, has he actually signed it? Has he signed your microwave? No way.
That's excellent. That
I've seen it a lot of times.
I get an Oscar speech prepared, mate. That's superb. That.
I used to live with the Geordies, so it's all right. But yeah, there was this other guy who wants a microwave burger, Chris, and he was trying to get Chris. It was just crazy, mate. It was crazy. However, long story short, we signed the microwave. The video went viral, did like 1 million views or maybe more, and we all had a good laugh about it. Wake up this morning and it's on eBay and it's going for, I think we saw it and it was like, bloody hell, it's 500 quid someone's paying for it. 600 quid, you keep an eye on it. Check it again later today. It's like, oh my word, lads, it's at 10 grand. Check it again, 20 grand, whatever, 30, 40. Just checked it before we come on air. 65,900 pounds. So 66
so what was it, an auction? Have they auctioned it?
It's on eBay, yeah. People are bidding. People
are bidding each other.
Yeah, and it looks like there's two people in a tug of war for it now.
So you know the lad, was that just pot luck, stumbled across Chris Eubank Jr. and decided to ask for it signed, and now he's going to potentially make north of 65 grand?
I mean, that looks like the case.
That is a story.
There is no way, like, just randomly, a guy walks through a city. Bearing in mind, it was at like probably 9 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah.
You know, there is no. You just don't walk through the city holding a mic unless you're. I don't know. Are you moving house? Have you been working during the day and gone to pick it up off Gumtree? I don't know. I don't know.
Proper story, that though.
Yeah, it's one for the grandkids. I said to Chris after it during the fight week, I said, "Is that the first page in your autobiography then?" And he was like, "That will be one for the book." Yeah.
Wow.
So,
what's the story?
What a story? Yeah, I wish. Do you know what? I think from now on, I'm just going to start walking around Premier League grounds with like kettles and toasters. And
do you know? I'm just thinking there, Chris. If the guy hangs on to it, and Eubank Jr. goes on to fight Golovkin and potentially turn him over, or any other massive names like that. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, mate. I know what you're saying, but you know the phrase "quit while you're ahead." Yeah,
I've heard it in the hand. Yeah.
Yeah. If someone's offering you around 70 grand for a microwave, mate, one that you can Google, you know, get the same one for like, I don't know, 30 quid or something in Curry's, take it. Take it. Yeah, absolute madness. But there you go. So that's all the boxing talk we need to do this week, because it was something. It came and then it went. This is Stockport County Live. Welcome to Stockport County Live. Me, Chris Ridgway, and him, Matty Mainwaring. FA Cup action. Stamford at the weekend. County come away with the win. We'll speak about the big name draw next because it is a big name draw. Next, but tell me, Matty, let's break down Stamford. What happened? What went right for County?
I think the gulf in class shown, to be honest, and the gulf between levels. I think it's quite apparent throughout the game. Having said that, they had a couple of little chances and spells themselves, but for the most part, it was without being disrespectful. It was people were scrapping to get on the score sheet, and it could have been a whole lot more. Paddy Madden himself could have had a hat trick on another day with a bit more luck. A lot of it was, it was what we needed off the back of 3 other wins, a clean sheet, and it, as I said, just exactly what we expected. The first goal, I think, not just the first goal. I think on the whole, we overwhelmed them, outnumbered them, got too many bodies forward too fast, and just literally bulldozed. More power, more pace, a bigger side altogether. You generally get that with teams a lot lower down. They're generally smaller. The old saying, a good big and beats a good little. Having said that, they had 1 or 2 really decent players, but on the whole, I think it was just a case of we were too much for them as expected. I think the gulf in levels shown.
Are we? I mean, ask a silly question, but is this now a good time to compare? I mean, for years when we were part-time and then part-time / nearly full-time, the comments that we were saying a lot was tactically we're as good as any team in the league above, wherever. But it was the fitness and it was that the sharpness and that regular working rather than just 2 nights a week. Now, you look at County now, full-time, not just a full-time outfit, like properly funded, big, going through everything. Is this now, are County fans now able to appreciate, do you think, okay, they saw what it was like part-time. We've now had a good spell of watching us full-time, and you can see the difference, especially maybe even in the players that were there for both. I'm looking at your Jordan Keens and your Ash Palmers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, like you said there, the intent to bring in the players we've brought in as well, some of which have come from higher up. So, absolutely. And we spoke about it last week. It's not just the way we're playing, it's other little things. It's the capacity we have every week at home. It's the state that the pitch is in, perfect condition. I'm seeing regularly on social media how good the training pitches are. They're like Premier League standards. This is the intent, and this gives a bit of an indication, and it's indicative of where we are and where we hope to be. I'm very sure that everyone involved with Stockport County, yourself included, myself included, Liam as well, has got one eye on League Two. So Stamford to come to us, they're not just playing against a mid-table conference national league side. They're playing against a team that has a solid set of eyes on League Two. So I totally agree with what you're saying. The goal, like we said, the gulf in levels is apparent, and sometimes, more often than not, now it's apparent when we play clubs in this division as well. I think we're starting to show now, what we're about, who we are, and we're starting to match up to the reputation that the club's got.
It's that. I mean, it's quite a fitting time to speak about how we can attract players from higher levels. I mean, you see it all through the divisions. Look at Newcastle just these last couple of weeks. Now the richest club in the world by some shot. Yeah. And you think, yeah, but are they going to be able to bring in the big name players that they need for this season? Because of that they're in a relegation battle. How are they going to tempt Champions League winners and so on and so forth? And it got me thinking. I won't name names, but there was a very, very high level player that I'm quite close with, who's regular in the Premier League, and he used to say to me, the move that most players wanted was Bolton Wanderers before they got into the Prem. And the reason that Northern players wanted Bolton was because the facilities were so good. The players would often look to get there. Bolton could get away with paying a bit less because they had great training ground, they had great staff, they had great blah 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 blah. And it's that investment being well spent. Yes, you can go straight away. All right, new 11, new keeper, new striker, whatever. And that all makes sense. But to grow, you invest in the club. You invest in the fibres of it. And you just said there, the training and stuff like that, the training pitches, the facilities. That's what will continue to attract those players from levels above, because they want to play where they know they're looked after and they're going to be given the opportunity to shine.
Yeah, of course. Bolton are a sleeping giant, and so are we. And like you say, it works the other way as well. There's clubs out there that are technically have got academy status. You know, you have your academy and centre of excellence status. They've got academy status, but the facilities won't match up to Stockport's, who are centre of excellence and have been centre of excellence. So the fact that we're making statements like that, you know, the Carrington training ground, that I said last week, the state of our pitch, it's prestige, it's perfect. It's a carpet. If you can't play on that, you can't play. The ground, the capacity, the overall general feel of the place, you know, all pulling in the same direction. And Bolton's a great example. You know, you think of the North outside of United and City, you think Bolton, don't you? You think Bolton, you think Liverpool, they're in that mix. So absolutely, yeah.
Let me ask you, you will obviously know this infinitely more than I will. What's the difference between an academy and a centre of excellence, and what other options are
there? In terms of what is the literal difference?
What does
makes one, what makes one the other?
Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, and times might have changed, but back when I was playing, I think it was indoor facilities. So I think academies can pass for academies because they've got indoor facilities. So Derby had it, Man United, City, Liverpool, they've all got indoor Astro. I think that's one of the main differences. The other obvious difference is the standard of lads. It's very strange. There's not much between them, but there is. If you pitted an academy against the centre of excellence side, so let's say Man United against Stockport, it could end up 1-0, 2-0. What's expected of a Man United academy player next to a Stockport centre of excellence player, the difference is quite big. You know, they're looking at their academy lads. Can you play in our first team in 3 years' time? You know, Stockport looking at their centre of excellence lads. Can you play in our first team in 3 years' time? You've got a lot better chance there than you have there. That's the main difference. But facilities-wise, I think it's indoor facilities.
Okay, I guess that, yeah, like you say, I guess there will be other things like, you know, the amount they focus on things other than your game, your diet, you know, for example.
It's like anything, Chris. It's money. You look at Derby County; they've always yo-yoed up until the last few years. They've always yo-yoed from the bottom of the Prem to the top of the Championship, haven't they?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, they've been in the academy for a good while now, and yet they're mingling with. They're playing the likes of their youth team will play the likes of Barnsley and Nottingham Forest, who are also Championship sides. Wigan's another example. Wigan were in the Premier League. They had spells in the Premier League, won the FA Cup, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're still only a centre of excellence. Might be wrong about that, but they were when I was playing. They were a centre of excellence because they were in our league, youth league against Oldham, Rochdale, Preston, Morecambe, you know, Aki Stanley, all them. So it's money, generally funds and money, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, speaking of Bolton, then, that moves us on nicely. The reward for getting past Stamford, and I say a reward because it is a reward. It's a trip to an old enemy's not the right word, but it's a local-ish rival, and it's one that you can really sink your teeth into. Like you say, Bolton are a big club. Funnily enough, slight mention of boxing. I was working at the Reebok Stadium. I'm still going to call it the Reebok Stadium. I know it's something else.
Me too. Yeah.
But I was working there the other week, doing some things with them, and the ground is phenomenal. You go inside, and it is a wonderful ground. It really is. And you know, being taken for the walk on the pitch and stuff like that, you get a sense of like, wow. You know, they've had hard times, right? Let's make no bones about it. So they find themselves where they find themselves, much like County, if we're honest. You know, they're still on the way back, but you know, on the way back from where they've been. So you get there and you think, wow, this is amazing. And then what do you know? A few days later, County get drawn out of the hat against them.
Yeah.
That's a reward. That's if you're like me, an excited dad who wants to take your kid to getting into Stockport County, that's the kind of game that in 10, 15 years' time, they'll still speak about.
Yeah, it's a cracking draw. It's a cracking draw, and it's a winnable draw.
Yeah,
you know, it's a winnable draw. It's the very fact, from a fan's perspective, that it's northwest based. The fans that might be put off from it, if it was a London game, for example, can now go and only travel half an hour, if that. That's great. They're going to get to experience Bolton's ground, the atmosphere, and it's a northwest derby. and it's winnable. It really is winnable. It's they're a good side this year. Don't get me wrong, they're a good side, but so are we. And it's one game at the end of the day. It's 90 minutes. It's a 2-horse race, so it's definitely winnable. So to say for us to say I've not got an eye on the round after that, be lying. But we understand professional is professional. We need to do this job first.
No, we're all right. We can do it. We can have a look. But I agree. And the form, if we can keep the form up that we're in now, I mean, like you say, I have no reason. County fans, for example, to kick off, county fans will take over that stadium.
Yeah.
And when I say this, right, Bolton fans are going to look at this tie, having not heard from County in a few years, and they've been up in the Prem and they've done this and that. They're going to look at County and think, it's little old Stockport County. You know, there's not a big pull to go there this week. Oh, they're doing all right in the conference. It's not a big mouth-watering thing for them. So for County, however, it's a test. We can say, you know, this is how far we've come. You know, we're going to pit ourselves like we spoke about last week, and County are going to raise their game 10% for it. Then the fans coming in, they're going to add another few percent. So all of a sudden, and if we can keep the form running, all of a sudden this league difference starts to even out a little bit. And like you say, the pitch will be in perfect condition. You would expect nothing less from Bolton Wanderers. And it just takes, you know, the first 10 minutes, don't do anything silly, keep hold of the ball, keep it moving. You get more comfortable. Half an hour goes past. All of a sudden, you're all in your rhythm, and it's just another week. It's just another day at the office. Listen, mate, I fancy us. I really fancy us.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like you say, we'll talk more when the time comes. But it might be another case of riding the storm for the first 15 minutes. If there is a storm, don't concede and take the game from there and take your chances. It's those principles. Take your chances. Don't concede. It's anyone's. It's a 2-horse race. Like you say, lads will raise the game. Because these players, the young players, some of them, and you know, they want to do well on this stage. It's a stage. It's a big stage. You know, there's potentially a Premier League club or you know, a bigger club waiting at the other end of it. So, you know, what a chance to show what you've got.
Absolutely. Well, let's focus then on the here and now, because like you say, I remember we did it when we played West Ham a couple of, you know, year and a half ago, whenever it was, and about 6 months in advance, all I wanted to speak about was.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's Notts County this weekend. Who, I mean, you talk about an even game, like they're a point ahead of us in the league. You know, having played one more game, this is a perfect chance for us to leapfrog them with a game in hand. But again, we're going to a great stadium. That Notts County Stadium, it really is something else. Lovely stadium, lovely club. The pitch will be immaculate. Blah 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 blah. County getting used to being in these arenas now, and I fancy us. If we win on Saturday, it's 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, and again, these are another sleeping giant in this division. It's a massive game. This, I think, if you looked at the table and, you know, disregard positions, if you just looked at the clubs that are in the table, you'd probably look at this as the top of the table clash if you knew nothing about the league.
Yeah,
like you say, there's a point between us. They're a massive club. Were they League One how many years ago? 5, maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah,
something like that. So,
what's the longest serving football league club or something?
Yeah. So exactly. So had some big names pass through. So, and we know what Nottingham's like for football. You know, so it's wicked. Yeah, it's going to be a big game. We're going there for the back of 3 league games, 4 games. You know, 4 wins on the spin. Nothing to lose, but if we want to get into that top pick of sides now, I think we you know, we want to look and pick a point up at least. Not that he'll be playing for a point. The Gaffer, he won't. I doubt he'll play for a point, but I don't think you know, he'll set up not to get beat, I imagine. And anything on top of that is a bonus.
I love the picture that was taken when we went there during, I think it was during lockdown, or I can't remember. Yeah, I seem to remember doing the commentary in the empty stadium there, and someone took a picture. A fan took a picture, because for those of you who've never been to Nottingham, the 2 grounds are on either side of like a river.
Yeah.
And someone stood on the bridge, and it was the only time in like many years that Forest and Notts County had played at home on the same day, probably because of lockdown and fans weren't allowed in and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The 2 stadiums were lit up, and it was just a really nice thing. So it's nice to go back, and I don't think we'll have that experience again for a long while. But yeah, we go in a good run of form, and I want to single out this player for a moment because you've raved about him ever since day one, and at the moment he is the guy doing the absolute business. It's Paddy Madden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was before he scored. From what I've seen, he was before he scored. His contribution, it was definitely effective. We said it a while ago, 5, 6, 7 games ago. Before he was always contributing. He was showing you glimpses of why he's been a Football League player and a seasoned Football League player. Now we're seeing it. Obviously, got 4. Is it?
Yeah,
4. Yeah, 4. Could have had 3 on in the Stamford game. A little bit of luck, not his fault. Just a little bit of luck, but he's starting to play with ultimate confidence now. It's quite obvious. Yeah, great player to have in our side because himself, the likes of him and a few others are going to be pivotal in these Bolton games and Notts County games. And if we progress past Bolton into the next round, they're going to be pivotal because they've got that experience.
When we progress.
Yeah.
Now, just finally, mate, before I let you go, I said to you last week when I was in the hotel, I would get the cast signed. And the reason that I brought that up, I did get it signed by my mate Roy. I felt a bit weird asking him to sign it, but there you go. I was asked on Twitter by a couple of people if I would donate the cast to go to the Danny Bergara stand. So I don't know if it'll reach the heights of a £60,000 microwave. If it does, maybe we get change on the statue and we go on a lads' holiday. I don't know, but
I wouldn't rule it out, mate, just yet. I mean, the signature you've got on there already is a cracking starting point, one of the best ever.
Mr. Roy Jones. Well, there's going to be a few more, I think, in the next few days, so I'll keep them posted online. But who knows? If this is the cast that gets the Bergara statue outside Isley Park over the line, then I'm glad we've paid a little part. But yeah, listen, mate. There's a lot of football to come. There's a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to let you crack on because it's a bit later than usual on this Thursday evening. You've not had your tea yet. This is a regular occurrence on Thursday evenings.
Late food.
What's on the table tonight?
Don't know yet. That's all behind now.
If you need a microwave to cook it, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, listen, I'm going to let you bounce, but top man, and we'll see you next week.
Top man. Enjoyed it, mate. Quality stuff.